What's up, everybody? It's your favorite show, Get a Bucket. I'm your host, Trey, and as usual, I hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day. Today, we're going to talk about the WNBA updates. But before we do that, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, comment, tell anyone about the show. Trying to get the ratings up a little bit, just a little bit. And you wonder where you heard this before. That's because you've been listening to me Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I greatly appreciate your support. Now, WNBA, right? You know how this goes. I was going to talk about this on Wednesday, my Woman Crush Wednesday, my WNBA Wednesday. But the draft happened. Now, we had second round of the NBA draft go on, but I ain't going to talk about them. Although, shout out to Isaiah Evans, you know what I'm saying? Whoop-de-whoop. I'm a Duke fan, and we both from Fayetteville. I had to give my shout out. And also, I've been talking about my time at the National Special Olympic Games out in Minnesota. So I'm taking a little pause for that because we got playoffs today, starting today. So there's going to be some good times, some good energy. And, of course, I'm going to talk about a little refereeing. So I might make that a separate episode, a special episode tonight, and then another one for the championship game tomorrow, after the games, of course. But back to the WNBA. Y'all know how this goes. We're going to talk about the standings real quick. Number 1, Minnesota Lynx. Number 2, Las Vegas Aces. Number 3, Atlanta Dream. Number 4, New York Liberty. Number 5, Dallas Wings. Number 6, Golden State Valkyries. Number 7, Indiana Fever. Number 8, Los Angeles Sparks. Y'all know the Sparks is my team. Y'all might have peeped that I didn't have as much energy about my Sparks, right? That's because Kelsey Plum just got injured yet again. She's going to be out 4 weeks. We're going to reevaluate her, see if she can come back. And I can't argue. If we lose her, that's going to be a devastating blow. Season might be done. I know we got Nneka. I love Nneka. I know we got Dearica. I love Dearica. Amen. Say amen. It might not be too good for us, bro, because we need Kelsey Plum. Keep in mind, we go up against the Mercury, right? This is just one game as an example. We played, 16 now, but one game. We play against the Mercury. Kelsey Plum, Kalia Copper. First time in WNBA history, 2 players have dropped 40 points in a game. That's regular season and playoff included. And again, I said it was Kelsey Plum who dropped 40-plus points. Career highs for both. She's been hooping. She's been able to get a bucket. She's always been able to get a bucket for sure, but she's been getting a bucket this season. It's early, but she's still been getting a bucket. Now she might be gone for the season. That's tough. Because I've been saying, my Sparks has not been able to sneak into the playoffs. And, we've been here for about, 2 weeks now? Technically, we did get bumped down by the Mystics, but then the Mystics lost to the Liberty. So now we're right back in the thick of things. But because of this Kelsey Plum situation, I'm going to be curious how we look over the next 4 weeks. If we can remain in the playoff hunt, we might have something, ladies and gentlemen, because keep in mind, now we get Kelsey Plum able to shake off the rust, because 4 weeks is a lot of time missed. But when she comes back, and let's say we get to the playoffs, can you say fresh legs? I love it. I love it. Now we got to make sure the cohesion's straight. There's some optimism I'm trying to have for myself, maybe, that my Sparks can do something. But we're just going to have to wait and see. Kelsey Plum, wishing you the best. Look, I've had some negative things to say before about you in the past, but one thing I will not do is miss this moment to say I hope you get better soon, please. And that's not even just because you're on my team, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't want any athletes to be injured, because I love the game basketball too much. I love people too much, you know what I'm saying? So, speedy recovery, Kelsey, speedy recovery as a Sparks fan. The Indiana Fever, number 7, is kind of surprising, Caitlin's been improving over the last, week or so now. The efficiency's getting a little better. Turnovers are still there, but you see flashes where it's like, all right, we're getting the 2-to-1 assist turnover ratio. Sometimes we even sneak in a little 3-to-1. Like, that's not bad. So, cool. Maybe Caitlin Clark is turning the corner. Leah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, y'all been hooping still. We know what you do. Y'all have been producing consistently over the last 3 seasons. Caitlin's numbers are there until you get to turnovers and efficiency. So if we can clean that up, Fever might be on to something. But in the meantime, I'm not going to harp on the Fever too much. Because, again, we've talked about them before. We know what they are. They got a big 3. They got some decent depth. They're trying to retool just a little bit, because last year's team did dissipate just a smidge. You know what I'm saying? They had, for example, Natasha Howard. That was a critical piece gone. So, again, I do like the Fever. But, I'm kind of hoping that they remain at the 7th seed, or realistically, wherever the Aces are for the playoff race, I hope they remain there, because I do want to see that playoff matchup. So fingers crossed so we can get that playoff matchup. But yeah, Fever, I ain't going to talk about y'all too much. It is what it is. Golden State Valkyries still in the playoff race. I do appreciate it because at the time, at the beginning of the season, it did start to look like the three newest teams were going to make the playoffs. Golden State made it last season. So running it back just proves, all right, they really there. And how far off is the organization from winning a championship? Like, we may have to start questioning that because, again, if they get to the playoffs, and let's say they win a playoff round, right? Like, let's say they go up, because right now they're slated to go up against the Atlanta Dream. If they beat the Dream can be beaten, to be clear. So if they beat the Dream, we got to start questioning how many years, how many seasons would it take for the Golden State Valkyries to win a title? Because if they can win a title, hey, that'd be pretty spectacular. I can't lie to you. Gabby Williams has been playing phenomenal. A bona fide, surefire all-star. And we might even talk about her as an all WNBA player. She got that kind of talent. And we saw that in the Olympics too, by the way, the World Games. So again, ladies and gentlemen, Golden State Valkyrie, number 6, I can't be but so mad at them. You got to love them. You got to respect them at bare minimum. And they're going to make it to the playoffs. We are close to the halfway mark, ladies and gentlemen, of the WNBA season. They still in the thick of things? Yeah, I like them. Dallas Wings, I said they the 5th seed. They've been remaining the 5th seed. And they've been showing me they might have some good team chemistry. Paige Bueckers, you know what I'm saying? That's a all-star, all WNBA, MVP caliber player. Jessica Shepard has been playing some good ball. Sheppy. Yo, you hooping. You hooping. I see you, baby. I see you. And it's crazy because she was on the Lynx, right? She won't doing this. Imagine if she was doing this on the Lynx. Oh, they would have been nasty. But Paige got her. And that can be smooth. Also, real quick, for people who are saying that Paige Bueckers is not a point guard, I need y'all to stop. Y'all sound too ignorant. You really do. How is it that this girl has been playing point guard damn near her whole life, and she's not a point guard now? Why? Because she can get a bucket? For real? Y'all not paying attention to the assist-turnover ratio, where she getting about 6 assists and 2 turnovers. But she's not a point guard, though. Yeah, y'all sound foolish. I just need to say that right now because I've heard this on my social medias. We got to stop that narrative. Now, Jessica Shepard, you playing at all-star caliber. If they can get Arike to be who Arike is, who we think Arike is, Dallas Wings can be scary. And it's crazy, too, because they could go up against the New York Liberty. I don't know if the New York Liberty would lose to the Dallas Wings. Not right now. I don't think so. New York too deep. They got it like, yeah, bro. I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening at all. I'm sorry, Wings. I love y'all. I really, truly do. Dallas fans, please don't get upset with me. If y'all pairing up against New York Liberty right now, I don't see y'all advancing. Honestly, the top 4 seeds, your best case might be the Atlanta Dream, but I mean, I don't know, because they're kind of tough too now. But the Wings, for sure, they're going to get to the playoffs. They're going to make some noise. I do think because Shepard has been playing pretty well, I can see Paige Bueckers not being in the MVP discussion as much. But I also think, too, she should be in the MVP discussion because, again, we're talking about maybe, 3 all-star caliber players now. AZ Fudd starting in the lineup now. Cool, heard you. We got to wait to see, though, how she produces because I don't think she's going to be an all-star player this season. Other teams have had, like Asia, right? She has a gang of all-star caliber players. Liberty, a gang of all-star caliber players. The Dream, at least 3. So again, and I'm talking about 3 this season and last season. So again, from last season, because Angel wasn't on the team last season, but she was an all-star last season. So I may still want to keep Paige Bueckers in the MVP discussion. Again, I didn't have them in the playoffs per se, so that's the reason why she's still there. But if some of her teammates start turning up a little bit more, we may have to drop Paige's MVP rankings down just a smidge, just to be fair at how I've done the other teams. Liberty, Dream, Aces, and Lynx. I told y'all before, I'll tell you again. These are the contending teams. Now, the Commissioner Cup Championship is supposed to take place June 30th, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And I can't wait to see this because I've told y'all before, ladies and gentlemen, outside of the Seattle Storm in 2021, which the only reason why this happened, two things. One, there were less games to be played. I believe it was like one game, right? Two, Breanna Stewart was injured that time. So if she had played, they probably would have won. No lie. And I think they went up against the Mercury, right? Who ended up going to the finals? So that's the path that the Storm went on that season. But every team outside of that has gone to the championship has at least gone to the second round of the WNBA playoffs. So we can expect to see the Aces and the Liberty both in the second round. Barring injuries, of course. Barring injuries, advance to the second round. Because they play in the championship game. But when it comes to advancing to the championship game itself in the WNBA, these 4 teams, I got high expectations. Like, let's just talk about the point differentials, right? Minnesota Lynx leads the league with 11.4, meaning that they outscore their opponents by 11 points on average. Aces, their point differential is actually lower than the Dream, the Liberty, the Wings, the Valkyries. All right, we above the Fever now. But that's the point differential they're working with. These two teams won because these were my contenders before the season started. The Liberty were. The Lynx is telling me that they're winning blowout games. They've won close games too, but they've lost some close games as well too now. Like, I went to see the Lynx play in person, put eyes on them versus the Mystics, who, by the way, the Mystics could shake up things because my Lakers losing Plum, they could, drop. And the Mystics could rise because I had the Mystics in the playoffs before the season started. And they could be a mismatch or matchup nightmare for the Lynx. They could cause problems. Now, the only thing that may change my mind is because Nafisa Collier has not played yet. But the Mystics did keep it close the entire time. Rebounding was a big thing. And although this was, maybe an anomaly, but Olivia Miles did make a critical turnover in the game. Late game, by the way. And that's what cost them the game. And it was an out-of-bounds play, too. It was so disgusting. So disgusting. Tough. But the Lynx, if they can't win close games, if they can't show that a little bit more, which, again, they have won some, but this point differential does make me wonder when they go up against the better teams, when the game get tight, what they looking like. And Olivia Miles and Nafisa Collier, they still got to figure out who going to win it at the end. Now, only thing that makes me feel better is I will say this, the Lynx are an unselfish team. They are looking like that. And Nafisa Collier, I've never known to be a selfish player. So when she returns, I'm not expecting much issue there. But I still got to wait to see what it looks like, too. Because who knows? Egos could form. We got to wait to see what happens. The Aces, y'all winning close games tell me, okay, well, y'all are the champions, so people may put a little more energy when they come against y'all. So that could explain the lower point differential. But the fact that y'all are still the second seed speaks volumes. I can't deny that. Asia Wilson having a hell of a season. Jackie Young, hell of a season. Chelsea Gray, you already know who she is. Like, Kennedy Carter, hooping. She can get a bucket. So they got good players on their team for sure. And honestly, when it's all said and done, too, we could talk about this team as arguably at least the trio as one of the greatest trios in WNBA history, if not the greatest trio in WNBA history. They could get 4 championships. They already got 4. Let me do my math again. But what happens if they get 5? Because remember, the Houston Comets got 4, and we talk about them. So if they get 5, hey, this might be the greatest. So that's what we're thinking when we're talking about Las Vegas. And again, they're getting older. Their players are getting older. Other players are starting to evolve, mature, improve. So if they can get it now, hey, might as well. But there are some teams that will challenge that. The Dream have been looking pretty interesting, right? Granted, Alicia Gray did get injured recently. So we'll wait to see what happens when she returns. Hopefully she's cool. I think she'll be all right. But we're going to wait and see. But the Dream on paper, and somewhat production too, are pretty spectacular. Not just because they have Ryan Howard, Alicia Gray, Angel Reese. We forget players like Jordan Canada, who, when I talked about that Storm team, Sue Bird was on that team, right? Guess who else was on that team? Jordan Canada getting tutelage by Sue Bird, one of the greatest point guards the WNBA has seen. So they have that type of player on their team. Can't scoff at that. Short guard, heard you. She got confidence. Good playmaker, and she can get a bucket. So again, ladies and gentlemen, I like the dream. And it's just a matter of time to wait and see how they produce. They need to get to the second round and advance. They need to. Because I think I said last season to one of my boys on the show, maybe Ryan Howard and Alicia Gray have like a 2-year championship window. Now, that was before they got Angel Reese, so maybe that sneaks in an additional 2 years. But it's still looking like they need to prove to us, hey, we can at least get to the finals. If they can do that, I think that'll be stellar. And again, they have the talent. But I hear you if they don't. That's why I'm not going to be upset if they don't get to the finals. Because again, a team like the Aces or even the Liberty could knock them out. If they get knocked out in the first round, though, we're going to have some conversations. Now, speaking of the Liberty, these girls is nice. And it's crazy because they're really trying to piece stuff together still because they've had so many injuries, so many absences. It's crazy work. So the fact that they're a 4 seed is kind of commendable. Like, I appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? And again, on paper, this is the best team in the WNBA. They are the deepest team in the WNBA. The only problem I have is I made that same statement last season. It's the only problem I have. So if the Liberty can continue to get their cohesion, I was wondering what their starting lineup would look like, what their bench would look like. There was a world where I was thinking, hey, maybe Satu can come off the bench, get saucy, and then finish the game. I think she's in the starting lineup now. And I ain't mad at it. I'm just saying Satu off the bench just says how stout your team is, how stacked your team is. Sabrina Ionescu coming back, got her first double-double this season. Holla at me. Hey, man, say, man. We looking all right. And then, of course, Jonquel Jones doing her thing. Stewie doing her thing. Leonie Phoebus coming back being the player she is, efficient and a defender, guarding 1 through 5. They nasty with it. They nasty with it. Benaje Laney Hamilton, when she come back to true form, oh, wow. That's going to be a problem. I'm telling you that right now. Matter of fact, one of these expansion teams definitely going to have to poach from the Liberty. Because if they don't, I don't know how you beat the Liberty right now. I'm telling you, if they start gelling properly, ladies and gentlemen, they might be dog walking everybody in the WNBA. So we just got to wait and see how that looks. But again, we will be watching the Liberty. And keep in mind, they're in the Commissioner Cup Championship without being healthy for the full season. They just beat the brakes off the Aces recently. Speaks volumes. I'm not saying they're my favorite to win the championship, but they're my favorite to win the championship. But ladies and gentlemen, before I go, because again, All-Star break is coming up around the corner, right? Fan voting is starting up. I get it. It's fan voting. I hear you. We got to we got to stop the cap. We got to end this facade. Aaliyah Boston, #1 in fan voting. Like, I'm not going to act like I have too much of a gripe with it. I understand why Caitlin Clark is high on the list, right? I do. I'm not going to act. I'm not ignorant. I get it. Okay. I understand it. But the issue is some of the other names that I've seen. Like, how in the world is someone like, I'm sorry. I'm still flabbergasted right now, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize. Because look, so we got here Sophie Cunningham, top 15. Like, if the fans are voting because they think she cute, all right, I guess. Lexi Hall at 20. Again, if the fans voting because they think she cute, all right, I guess. But we got some other cute girls in WNBA too. Like, we got to make sure that we picking players based off talent, production. And I'm not trying to slight these two at all, even though it's coming off like a slight for show. But there are other players who we could vote for. And I get it. It's the fans, right? Like Indiana Fever fans, I don't know what y'all are doing, but other fan bases need to steal y'all formula. Because if these girls get into the All-Star games, partially because of these fan votes, that would be ridiculous, man. Because I'm telling you, I'm looking at my Sparks fan base like, bro, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, How come the Indiana fans are doing better than us? How come the Indiana fans are doing better than the New York fans, man? Because, hey, whole time New York got a lot of players on their team that can actually make the All-Star. So why not New York? And y'all just won a championship, too, with the WNBA and now the NBA. Because what, Liberty won 2 seasons ago? I need to see New York stand up a little bit more. Because Indiana right now, I know Indiana is a basketball state. I get it. But damn. Lie down. You know what I'm saying? Like these, they doing their thing. Hey, this is the tip of the cap to the Indiana fan base. Because again, in no world should Sophie Cunningham or Lexi Hull be WNBA All-Stars unless there are a bunch of players that have been injured. Like they got to be the alternate. And if you look at this list right now, Lexi and Sophie got a shot. Like if we were just to base it off the fan base, meaning. So again, I tip the cap to the Indiana Fever fan base. But at the same time, I'm looking at everybody else. Y'all ain't got no other all-stars or athletes on your team that you can like, that you can vote for? That's all I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. We got to stop the cap, please, ladies and gentlemen, please. But again, kudos to the fan base of the Indiana Fever. But ladies and gentlemen, also, speaking of the Indiana Fever, because I just forgot about this, I have been talking with people on social media. They're like, well, Caitlin Clark be getting bullied and this, that, and third. She all right. But hear me out, though, okay? Because they recently played against the Phoenix Mercury, back-to-back games. Phoenix won the second game. Caitlin Clark, I think, is out with a back injury or something like that. But she also got hit in the throat as well, too, and I didn't appreciate that. One, Caitlin, speedy recovery, right? Hopefully you return soon. But Alyssa Thomas, I love a gritty player. I really, truly do. But it does seem like you got a problem with Caitlin Clark. Like, bro, we cannot be putting our hands on folks' throat, especially when they're on the ground, man. And keep in mind, too, Alyssa Thomas is, like, rather stocky, like, kind of strong. Like, I'm not trying to get into a fight with Alyssa Thomas myself. And, like, Caitlin Clark is shorter than me, skinnier than me. I think it's fair to say I'm stronger than Caitlin Clark. And I'm making that statement about Alyssa. I'm not trying to see hand. I'm not trying to have a fight with Alyssa at all, bro. Alyssa, you got to calm down, baby. I get it. I love your passion. I'm not telling you to change your game. I'm just saying, watch your hands, baby. That's all. Just watch your hands a little bit. And I would have said it if it was for anybody, to be clear. I just know that this is going to get more views because it's about Caitlin Clark. And there is a history now between you and Caitlin. That is a factual statement now. So we do, when I say we, I mean you, gotta chill out when it comes to Caitlin Clark. Because the optics don't look that stellar. They really, truly don't. But outside of that, baby, keep doing what you're doing. Because I will say this now, for the Phoenix Mercury, I had y'all in the playoff race. At the bottom, y'all were my number 18. And because my Sparks are now injured, y'all can start climbing up the ranks. Because y'all have won some tough games already. And y'all got the talent to actually win and get to the playoffs. Problem is, though, y'all have some injuries as well, too. Y'all suspended one of your players. It's not looking like the best season. Kalia Copper and DeWanda Bonner. Well, DeWanda's been playing okay, but still kind of subpar too. She's been looking like a quality defender still. Kalia Copper averaging 19, right? Alyssa Thomas still doing what she do. I'm telling you right now, if the Phoenix Mercury get to the playoffs, we may have to talk about Kalia Copper and Alyssa Thomas in the MVP discussion. Because at least as of right now point in time, they not healthy, the Mercury. And if they start climbing up the ranks, I get it. My Sparks are injured. The Mystics, youngest team in WNBA history. But damn, the Phoenix Mercury, it's a tough season right now. So if they can climb up, that's going to speak some volumes. So I did want to note that. So tip of the cap to them. You know what I'm saying? But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that does conclude the end of the episode. So I am curious. One, who are you rooting for still this WNBA season? Who are your favorites or your favorite team to win a championship? Who are you rooting for? Who do you believe is going to win? Who are some disappointing teams thus far for you? Who are your surprise teams? Who you think going to win the Commissioner Cup game? Aces? Liberty? We'll find out June 30th at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I had to make sure I add that p.m. because I don't want people saying, oh, I thought it was a.m. No, shut up. Like, it's p.m. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me know your thoughts. Who do you believe should go to the All-Star game? Because I talked about that last week. So Let's spin the block back with it. Bring me up. Let me know. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, like I said, we done. So please make sure to like, subscribe, comment, tell anyone who's anyone, one, about the WNBA, and two, about my show. My name is Trey. I'm the host of Get a Bucket. I hope you're all having a good one. Oh, also make sure to tune into the National Special Olympics. Your boy's still reffing. But yeah, take care.